And thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my partner in crime, my esteemed colleague. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Aric DiLalla.
Phil, great to be with you.
It is a nice morning, isn't it, Aric?
It's warm.
It's warm here.
Lovely.
A little too warm sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, the last couple of days have been in the 80s.
it's been nice.
I think it's a little too much too early.
Too much.
For me. But guess what? It's supposed to snow tomorrow night. So that's Denver. That's Denver for
That's
you.
Denver.
Yeah. Up and down. Kind of like this podcast.
That's true.
Also joining us here in the studio, I should mention, is at Denver Broncos.
Wow, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Bringing a positive attitude today.
Where's your plaid?
It's too warm for flannel, so I'm here in short sleeves.
I think we're all a little bit off this morning just because we don't have any quarter zips on. We don't have any flannel in here. Something just doesn't feel quite.
Nobody followed the
normal.
dress code.
Nobody followed dress code. We're kind of just going off the rails here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Aric, we're a couple of weeks away from the draft.
Feels like it's been flying by, huh?
Yeah. A little bit of a strange lead up this year, I would say, just because no first or second round picks. It's hard to really dive too much into the third round.
That's right. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know exactly what the Broncos are thinking. Are they going to stay at those picks? I mean, there's just so much that can happen before the Broncos even get close to their pick that it's hard to project.
It is. And, you know, our friend Mike Kliss has been reporting like all these guys who've been having visits and different things like that. You're like, who is that? Who are they coming in? You know, but that's sort of where the Broncos are right now. Looking for some first-year starters, but the names aren't, it's not like some of the household names we're used to, like with first-round picks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in all likelihood, people didn't know who Nick Bonito or Greg Dulcich were, or Baron Browning or Quinn Miners. Doesn't mean that, you know, several of those guys made an impact. So not impossible to find those guys, but you're right. I mean, Bryce Young, as far as I know, has not been here.
Bryce Young, I don't think has been around here. Or my guy, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. I haven't seen any of those guys.
Hendon Hooker. Was he here or no?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so either. He's shot up the boards, huh? That's your guy.
I think that's where he's been.
That's your guy.
I think he's stayed up on the board so he doesn't have to get up on the board.
Nice. That's smart. Well, instead of diving into this year's draft too much here, we thought maybe we go the opposite direction, Aric. Historical.
Last year's draft.
Historical. Yeah, historical. You know, the interesting thing about the Broncos is when you think of some of the all-time greats that have come through here, the John Elways, the Peyton Mannings, the Champ Baileys, these players were not drafted by the Broncos.
That's true. That's a
little
fact.
bit unusual.
It's a fact.
It's a little unusual that some of these all-time greats that have donned the orange and blue, they were not drafted by the Broncos.
No.
Now, some of the greats were, but some of those guys were not. It's crazy.
So some were, some were not.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
A good topic.
We thought maybe we would highlight a couple of positions and talk about the best draft picks the Broncos have ever made at those positions.
Which positions?
Well, I was thinking maybe quarterback,
Okay.
which is an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe DBs, which I, of course, know includes cornerbacks and safeties,
Of course.
and edge rushers. Edge rushers.
There's kind of an obvious one for that, right?
For edge,
Yeah.
Nick Bonito.
Jeez.
No? Not yet. He's too early.
Too early.
It's too early. It's too early. I'm not sure if even a guy like Baron Browning would fit into that because he was drafted inside, switched to outside. I don't know. I don't know if that counts. Anyway, we'll go through some of the edge guys. There's a long history of drafting solid edge guys. And our guy Von Miller is probably number one.
I think so.
I think Von Miller's probably number one. When you win
Thanks for joining
the
us.
Super Bowl. Yeah. But we'll go into some of the other picks. Yeah. But before we do that, Aric, we should mention that this is an interactive show. How do people get involved?
There's so many ways, Phil. You can leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail at 707-NEUTRAL. We like those. Call in, leave a message. We'll play it here on the air. You can tweet at us on Twitter at Aric DiLalla with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH, both non-traditional spellings.
Those are non-traditional spellings.
Or Phil, you could head on over to the Broncos YouTube page, the official one. Don't go to the dupe. Is that what they call them now?
Excuse me?
They'll say like Swanson dupe, and it's like someone that looks like Swanson.
Oh, like you got duped.
Yeah. I think it's like a TikTok thing.
Oh, really?
Duplicate?
I think that's,
Duplicate.
Swanson dupe.
Swanson dupe.
Two Swansons.
It's an Aric dupe.
That's nice. Two Swansons.
Yeah.
The more in this world, the better.
So you go to, hopefully that's not like a bad word or something.
I don't think that it is, but
We don't really
it's
know.
educational.
Yeah.
We're learning. We're all learning here.
So you can go to the YouTube page and leave a comment there, and we'll read them right on the air. And that's what's going to happen right now.
Right now. Okay, we got a comment here from Shogun KRKN.
Kraken.
French guy here. This week's comments are super kind and positive, but not going to lie, I'm missing the skipper's nasty inputs. The spice in the intro is like nobody. Maybe translated a little from French there, but that's what it was written. I think he likes the spice from the normal comments. Today's comments, a little too kind for him.
Too kind.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I haven't heard the other ones.
Okay. The real stars of the show are Phil's eyebrows.
Is that kind?
What do you that was kind of mean, I think.
Yeah.
What's up with my eyebrows?
I've never really noticed them.
It's the star of the show. So we get the camera on me. Thank you. Another mean one here. This one's from Melvin Sanchez. Dang, Phil probably has a hard time getting into movie theaters since they don't allow outside snacks.
What?
What does that mean? Does that mean
Like you like
I'm
snacks?
on the heavier side? Yeah, I eat a lot of snacks. I eat too many snacks.
Did we talk about snacks?
Do I bring my own snacks to the movie theater? I don't know. What's your favorite movie theater snack here?
I think popcorn, right?
Just
Is that
standard
basic?
popcorn. Yeah, that is basic.
Well, I like the
Well, I don't really
too.
like. I would eat like a candy. I'd probably eat somewhere else, but
What about like a Raisinette? Are you a Raisinette? No.
that's gross.
Or what about a Milk Dud?
No,
Dang.
I used to like the Milk Duds when I was a kid.
Yeah. Sour Patch Kid?
yeah, but I would eat those
Not at the movie
not at the
theater.
movie theater. Whereas I'm never going to just sit down and eat a bucket of popcorn.
Not at home?
No,
What if you put on a movie at home?
no,
You're not doing that.
no.
Wow. Interesting.
Maybe some caramel corn, but not.
Caramel.
Yeah,
Got it.
but not.
Not caramel.
No,
Caramel.
caramel.
Got it. Hopefully somebody will weigh in on how you pronounce that word.
I think there's multiple ways to pronounce it, right?
I don't know. I used to sometimes like you'd put the Milk Duds into the popcorn and let it melt like a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, you do that.
that's some advanced stuff.
Or some junior mint, like a nice junior mint.
Yeah,
There's a lot of options.
you have kind of the snack habits of like an 80-year-old.
I like black
Like, I want a
licorice.
junior mint.
I like and hard candy.
Werthers?
Werthers. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is true. What I mean, what popcorn is cool. It's hip.
I think
It's
it's
young.
popcorn's just
It's young.
it's reachable.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
You can relate.
exactly.
People can relate to you because you like popcorn.
Yeah,
Got it.
you're not gonna upset anybody by liking popcorn.
That's true. But me saying junior mint, off-putting.
Not off-putting, just old. I think.
Oh, got it. Francisco Joaquina. Your show inspires me to watch paint dry. That's why I watch all of it. Now I have to go paint. Thanks for your help. Thank you very
Pretty
much.
good.
That's a good comment.
You're gonna like today's show.
Jasmine says the Broncos would be nothing without you two. I don't know. That's not nice to Swanson, I don't think. That's okay. Killer
That's all right.
35 Durant. Killer 35
Frequent
Durant.
commenter.
Yeah. Our friend Ike in the office likes to refer to Durant as Durkant.
Yeah.
That's because he's a Clippers fan. Yeah.
Durant is.
Says, you boys leave Ben alone. He's a vital part of the flow of the show because his fact checking and his nice little one-line tidbits. I got your back, Ben. You're worth a first in my book.
Wow, that's nice. The fact checking is going to be tested a lot today.
Well, I guess we know what Swanson's burner account is now.
Yeah, exactly. Killer 35 Durant.
Didn't know you were such a big Durant guy.
J. Prez Bronx says, much love, boys. I got another fun question. Which current player do you think will surprise everyone this year and why? Which current player will surprise?
You going to answer it or no?
I, of course, am a huge Greg Dulcich fan.
Yeah.
So he might surprise some people, I think. Yeah, I would say Greg Dulcich or Albert Okwuegbunam.
That's not right.
What? Yes, it is. Swanson, how do you say it? Don't look it up. Just say the word.
Up.
How do you say it?
Okwuegbunam.
Okwuegbunam.
That sounds. I think Eric's is right. You're like not pronouncing
right.
part of it.
I've said it properly for the last
You're like kind of gargling as you begin the word.
3 years.
Oh yeah,
Okwuegbunam.
You said Okwuegbunam for a long time.
What?
Do I get to answer the question or no?
Yeah, that's why. Well, I've been waiting.
You're looking down.
I've just been waiting.
You're looking down.
Yeah, please.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
nice. That's a good answer.
Yeah, people have predicted the demise of Russell
downfall.
Wilson. Yeah, I think it's a bit premature.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's going to surprise some folks.
He was just in the valley last year. And now he's rising up to another peak. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that, but
I didn't say it either. I was wondering if you said it. I was just asking a question. I didn't say it. I said, is that what you're saying? And you're like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not saying it either.
Oh, got it.
I was just wondering if.
So now we're just asking if people are saying things.
I was wondering if you were saying that.
Yeah.
So last year was not a valley.
Are you saying you're a big crazy person or no? Were you saying that or no?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, I wasn't saying that either.
Good,
I was just wondering if you were saying it.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
Got it.
Luis Rodriguez says, you guys made my day and you guys are welcome. I will always watch and have a good laugh with you two goofballs. And then Luis also says, Phil, DB for L means Denver Broncos for life.
Of course.
Of course. Kelly Lyon, I watched you guys every week. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for bringing me back to Broncos country. Nice. Thank you very much. ERS Rocky, thank you for reading my comment on the show. I love you guys. Easily my top 3 Broncos podcasts. Toss up between Sidney Jones, Brandon Perna, and you awesome fellas.
Top 3 and we ain't 2 or 3.
Yeah. This is the longest running Broncos podcast. I don't know if you know that. You know that?
By amount
official
of
Broncos podcast. Yeah.
This is the official longest running Broncos podcast.
The shows are
the
very
longest running official
Broncos
podcast.
It's an official podcast. And it's been
the
long
official
running.
Broncos official longest
some
running.
people say the longest running.
That's important to know.
I think so.
You wouldn't want to just go out there and listen to a podcast that wasn't the longest running.
No, we're established. We're established.
Like,
you know what I mean?
We're like popcorn in a movie theater.
Relatable.
Everybody likes us.
Yeah. You do the butter or no?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of butter.
Of course. A lot of butter.
Wow.
Yeah. A little salt.
You like when they put on the butter or you put on the butter?
Oh, they can do it for me.
Oh, really? Yeah. What are you paying for, really?
Not here. Yeah, then they flip the screen around. They're like, this jar of popcorn is $26. Would you like to tip?
Oh, do you tip at the movie theater? I don't know.
I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time.
Yeah.
I think, Ben, the last time I went to a movie theater might have been with you.
Yeah, what were you guys seeing that day?
We saw Avengers.
That
was in like
Endgame?
2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big movie theater guy.
Eric was crying in the theater.
It's true. When Redacted dies at the end,
oh my god,
it was really sad.
Yeah. Redacted.
Alert.
Yeah, Blink.
Yeah.
Wow. And you cried.
I'll say it's more
a single tear. Oh, you'd say it's more of a weep?
Yeah, more weeping.
Audible or no?
Oh, yeah.
Audible, where people like
turned to look. Oh, they were crying right along with me.
Oh, got it. Relatable.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's dive into this week's topic. We're looking at Broncos historical drafts, and we're looking at a few positions here: quarterback, defensive back, DBs. I know how to talk, and edge rushers. Okay, we're looking at those three positions, the all-time best picks at those positions. Let's start with quarterback. It's the most important position on the field, Eric.
Sure.
So that's why we
You're
start
saying
with it.
that or no?
I'm saying that.
Okay.
And since it's the most important, that's where we start.
Right. Of course.
John Elway, not drafted by the Broncos.
No.
Peyton Manning, not drafted by the Broncos.
Nope.
Craig Morton, not drafted by the Broncos. So, sort of leaves a little bit of a room for debate here as to who the best Broncos quarterback drafted by the Broncos. Yeah.
And you said Tommy Maddox, right?
No, I would never say such a thing.
Oh.
How dare you, sir? So what do you think? Well, let's just talk about it. We don't have to pick a side.
I guess first,
let's talk about it.
If you are a diehard Broncos fan, you know that Peyton, John were not drafted by this organization. Yeah, Jake Plummer. Obviously, Russ, we hope rebounds and is a good player for this organization for a long time. But if you're just kind of a casual fan, you may not know that this organization, for all the success that it's had, has not necessarily hit on like a franchise quarterback
in the draft.
It's kind of an interesting thing that you look at most other franchises, and if they have this, a Tom Brady, Russ when he was with Seattle, you go around and around with all these different
Patrick
teams.
Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It's not often
Josh
that
Allen.
these guys are changing teams.
Right.
That's sort of a rare thing where like a franchise quarterback changes teams. But for whatever reason, that's happened for the good fortune of the Broncos.
Yeah. And John, to be clear, he only played for the Broncos.
Yes.
And his was more of didn't want to play for Baltimore. So came to Denver, but technically not drafted by the Broncos. So just something, if people aren't familiar with the history there, it's kind of interesting that this organization, for all its success, has not drafted any of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the Ring of Fame and the quarterbacks that are up there, they were not drafted by the Broncos.
Charlie Johnson.
Oh.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, see? Boom. There you go. See? Swanson will look that up. But we're talking about guys like recently Drew Lock, drafted by the Broncos. Jake Cutler, drafted by the Broncos. Trevor Siemian, drafted by the Broncos. Brian Griese, drafted by the Broncos. Those are all relatively...
Well, you're leaving out a big one, huh?
Paxton Lynch was drafted by the Broncos.
That's not who I was talking about.
I wasn't going in that area.
That was not who I was talking about. Timmy.
Tim Tebow is drafted by the Broncos.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think you'll probably alienate.
We could put
the
Timmy
audience
on the
if
list.
you don't mention Timmy here.
Yeah, but then before that, Tommy Maddox was drafted by the Broncos, and then you have to go way back. Gary Kubiak was drafted by the Broncos.
Well, that's my pick.
I mean, that's kind of like under the radar. If he doesn't get drafted here, but does he become the coach here?
Whoa! So you're talking about like some alternate universe kind of
the butterfly effect,
everywhere all at once type of thing. Is that the name of that movie?
No spoilers.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
they basically drafted a Super Bowl winning head coach.
That's true. That's
smart. Good play.
That's true. Aligned him with the franchise early.
So Tim is the only one. Is Tim the only Broncos quarterback who's won a playoff game? Who's
drafted by the Broncos?
I believe.
Yeah, did Griese? I don't think Griese ever won a. That's a good question.
How would he have?
I don't think so. Yeah. So there you go. So are you saying?
That's just an interesting fact.
That is
right.
I would say maybe just like skill wise, Jake Cutler was probably had the most skill. There are other factors that
Griese made a Pro Bowl, right?
A lot of success out on the field, but
yeah, you're also forgetting Brock Osweiler.
Oh, Brock Osweiler was drafted by the Broncos. Did not win a playoff game for the Broncos, but
he helped them win a Super Bowl.
He was drafted by the Broncos. Yeah, that's true. You're talking about this level of quarterback. That these are the best ever drafted by the Broncos. These guys are all sort of in a similar category.
I would say
tier, if you will. But I would have to. I think I'm going to say Jay Cutler.
Cutler?
Yeah, it was probably the best.
Yeah, I think you wonder with Jay, just kind of like what could have been, right?
Yeah.
Some untapped potential, maybe. Maybe didn't see. You just didn't get a chance to see it play out the way that it maybe could have, and who knows.
Mike Shanahan believed a lot in him.
Yeah.
And obviously made the switch from Jake Plummer to Jay Cutler at a time that that Broncos team was rolling at that time. So those are some good Broncos team. And Mike Shanahan thought enough to be like, hey, we got to make a change here. So, yeah, you kind of wonder what if Mike had stayed, what would have happened with Jay if he would have stayed, and
or even, even not, it doesn't even have to be Mike, but just somebody that kind of believed in Jay, right? Yeah. He made a Pro Bowl his last season in Denver.
Arm talent. I know that Peyton Manning doesn't like that word, but arm talent, there's a lot.
Make a lot of throws.
Yeah, he made a lot he could make any throw on the field there. So,
good hair.
Great hair.
How often do you think he shampoos?
Yeah. Two times a week.
Wow.
Which we found out just yesterday.
Yeah.
Listener, that Aric.
Listener. That's probably accurate.
I'm talking specifically when you're driving in the car and you're just listening by yourself, you're the listener. This is a 3-to-1 conversation. That's the way I view it, Aric.
Nice.
Listener, we found out
also possible that it's accurately reflective of how many people are listening.
You think it's the numbers?
Possible.
The YouTube comments would suggest otherwise.
Well, we don't know if they're listening.
Yeah, they're watching.
Anyway, back to the shampoo.
Yeah, you shampoo every day.
Correct.
Which I don't know if that, I'm not knocking the hair. The hair looks tremendous. The shine. You
and Swanson, we found out. You guys shampoo.
I do like an every other day sort of thing. Yep. Maybe like a 3 times a week.
And that's why I learned that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you guys don't smell particularly good.
Okay, do you think hair smells?
I think it certainly can.
You think after how long would hair start to smell?
Dead skin cells?
You're just making up all sorts of stuff today. Yeah, you're just like you're going from the depths. Yeah, and just pulling stuff out.
Is that not true?
I'm not sure, but I would say hair gets a little bit oily, but I don't think it starts to smell.
I think you can absolutely have smelly hair.
I would say it's not a
you're
big
lucky you're lucky on Tuesday and Thursday, your nose is all the way down here. Your hair's up there. You don't get it. It doesn't go like that.
I don't smell it. Yeah.
But if I walk by you.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry about that, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't realize that shampooing every day was such a...
You want some healthy hair. You want the oil. You don't want to kill all of the natural oils. So you just you shouldn't shampoo every day, I don't think. Now, I condition sometimes without shampooing. Once in a while, I'll throw in a little...
Hair is made up of dead cells that are filled with and surrounded by keratin.
How does it grow if it's dead?
It grows inside your body and then it pushes out. And then at that point, it's dead.
Really?
According to the internet.
Huh. And it doesn't just flake off then if it's all dead?
I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, like when a snake
sheds its skin,
that doesn't off. What's in one piece?
Yeah, but then it's all dry and like it can crumble. I think after that.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah. So yeah,
obviously we're not snakes. At least Swanson and I aren't.
Am I? Wow. Tell me what I did. What did I do? What did I do? Why am I a snake?
What were you talking about?
Well, yeah, Jay Cutler. Are we in agreement that he's probably the best or no?
I don't even know how we got to this shampoo thing.
We're talking about Jay Cutler's hair.
Jay Cutler has tremendous hair. He shampoos. Yeah. He definitely is a 3 times a week guy.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess Jay. I mean, of course, I'm always going to have a soft spot for Trev.
Cats guy.
He's
a cats
guy.
What
he did was remarkable.
Yeah, it was really remarkable. That one game against the Cincinnati Bengals, we'll never forget it.
He beat out Mark Sanchez and Paxton Lynch.
And
then Paxton Lynch again.
Yeah, that was good. Osweiler is a good one. Tebow is a good one. Tebow Mania, man, that was something else. You can't kind of create that just from nothing. I mean, there's something special there. So, And then, of course, Brian Greasy.
Of course.
He's a good friend of the show. Now out in San Francisco.
At one point, Phil, if you listen to this podcast, you would have believed that Drew Lock would have been at the top of that list. If you listen to this
podcast,
a couple of years ago.
You would have thought. Who knows what would have happened if Rich Scangarello was still, kind of like
the butterfly effect.
Mike to Jake Cutler.
The Broncos should have drafted Rich Scangarello.
Swanson, you ever think about that? You ever think about it? So that's one position I think that is just interesting to have a little bit of debate about. I mean, I think there's like some room for debate there.
Yeah.
Now, the other two positions I will talk about here, the Broncos have drafted their elite players.
Yes.
Other than, we'll get into DBs. Did not draft Champ Bailey. But
who is the best?
Probably the best. Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
Pat Surtain, no, I think Champ. It's going to be hard to a top champ. What he did to top champ. You don't do a nice champ top. But let's get into DBs here.
Sure, because I think there's a couple other.
There's a lot of really good players.
But I think there's some good players they haven't drafted.
Okay.
But do the drafted ones first.
So here's some of the guys the Broncos have drafted at the defensive back position.
Okay.
Steve Atwater.
Yep.
Dennis Smith.
Really good player. Ring of Famer.
Billy Thompson. Louis Wright.
Captain.
And then current guys, Justin Simmons and Pat Surtain.
Yep.
The second.
Right. They did not draft Pat Surtain the first. They drafted Pat Surtain again.
Yeah.
So what? All those guys are Ring of Famers, right?
Yeah, except the current guys.
Current guys, obviously. I would be shocked if Justin Simmons is not a Ring of Famer.
I would be shocked as well.
And Pat Surtain, obviously, if he keeps playing this way, he's going to be chilling in Canton with Steve at some point.
Oh, really? Of course, Steve had to move to Canton and just live there.
Yeah, right. That's part of the deal.
That's part of the
People don't know that.
Yeah. A little.
When you make the Hall of Fame, you have to move to Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
The population grows by 5 every year.
Yep. Sometimes more. Like that, the big class.
Oh, yeah.
Steve went in. Real estate went insane.
It went crazy.
Yeah. But
condos were just people were raising rent.
Condos, yeah.
Yeah. Voting against protections for rentees.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
They were raising rent. But of course, John Lynch.
Of course.
Did not get drafted by the Broncos.
John Lynch is a guy that I would put in that category, of course. Champ, as we mentioned. Aqib Talib.
Ooh, do you think he'll be a Ring of Famer?
I think on talent alone and just the playmaking ability, he should be.
Of course, he qualifies.
Yes, 4 years.
4 years.
I believe 2 first-team All-Pros during his time here.
He was a pick 6 machine.
4 Pro Bowls.
He had 4 Pro Bowls. Looks like 1 first-team All-Pro.
But of course, that's about what John Lynch had, right? And John Lynch made the Ring of Fame. I would guess that Aqib is not kind of like an immediate guy, just because there's other guys that I believe should probably
gotta wait a little bit.
But I personally think at some point Aqib should make it, just in terms of what he did. I think you could argue he was the best player in the no-fly zone.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like people talk about Randy Gradishar in the Hall of Fame. Like you need somebody from that Orange Crush defense.
Yeah.
I would think you need
Chris
guy.
Harris will definitely
Chris Harris will make it, but I don't know. Aqib was kind of the face of that no-fly zone.
Yeah. There's some interest to get in the Ring of Fame there's like a little bit of a lot. Like there's like your play on the field, what you meant to the organization, like stuff you did in the community. There's like kind of just a lot of different factors.
And obviously, Aqib had his share of controversies when he was here.
He did.
And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But from a purely on-field play standpoint, deserves to be in my opinion.
And he's, of course, a friend of the show.
Yeah, we love Aqib.
We love Aqib. And then what do you think? Brian Dawkins also maybe on this? I mean,
yeah, of course.
Played here only a few years, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Chris Harris, of course, not drafted by the Broncos either.
Correct.
So he would
makes you think
he would fit in that not drafted category either.
That's true. Sort of interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So talking about the drafted guys, though, who do you think is?
I mean, at this point, I think you have to put Steve Atwater.
I think Steve's
at the top. Hall of Famer, right? The lone Hall of Famer in that group.
Yeah.
And so I think he's kind of earned that. Phil, we sat here a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last
You're
year.
going to start projecting a little bit.
We sat here last year, I think, and talked about we built an all-time defense, right?
And
I got just blasted because I picked Pat Surtain.
Oh, you remember that?
And
that still hurts.
Huh.
The blasting.
Well,
You're like,
no, it actually feels great because I was what?
Vindicated. There you go. I came up with it myself. This wasn't right. It wasn't available.
You were like, I need the V word.
It was loading still.
Yeah. But I was right. And so, so that felt nice. It wouldn't surprise me if Pat ends up as the second best player on that list, but it also wouldn't shock me if he ends up the best player on that list.
Yeah, he certainly has a potential.
I mean, if Pat puts together, a career of seasons even close to what he did last year, he's going to end up obviously a Hall of Famer and in the conversation to be a first ballot guy. When you say he has 2 or 3, 4 more first team All-Pro seasons in his career, that's what you're looking at in terms of a lot of Pro Bowls. Oh, sure. He's got to do it, but he's got the talent.
He's got the talent to do it.
And the fact that he did it while being on a losing team is a good sign in my mind, because if you can get that recognition when you're on a not successful team, the odds that, hey, if you get this thing turned around and you start playing good football, well, now it's only, you're only more likely to be voted to a Pro Bowl or be chosen as an All-Pro. So
true.
Pat's a guy that his potential is just limitless here, and he'll rise up that list quickly.
I think so too. Yeah, I think that Pat has the ability to make the Hall of Fame there on that list, but there's a lot of solid players right there.
Yeah,
that the Broncos have drafted at the defensive back position.
And we know the team's legacy at safety, whether drafted, undrafted. The fact that a guy like Dennis Smith is kind of not in that conversation just speaks to, because he was a really good football player, just speaks really to how talented. Good the other options there are.
Yeah. I mean, Steve was like a generational type of talent. And then Pat Surtain could be that too.
Yeah.
Not quite sure if how high Justin will get on that list, but he could be like a top 3. Who
are the other guys there?
The drafted guys, Atwater, Dennis Smith, Louis Wright, Billy Thompson, and then Justin Simmons. I think he could keep.
I view Justin kind of like in a Dennis Smith category right now.
Yeah, like really good, solid, big time contributor.
Yeah, I kind of view him as a.
Yeah.
You think Justin is better than Dennis Smith? I think he could make. I think he could make the. How many Pro Bowls did
Dennis was like such an intimidating presence? Yeah. I mean, he was. Yeah, he was really good.
6 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay, so some work to do. Some work
to do, but maybe he could get there.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of interceptions. They always just kind of like fall right to him.
Oh.
So you're saying he doesn't do anything?
No, I mean, it takes some skill to be in the right position.
Swanson's not saying that, but are you saying that?
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
What are you asking me?
Swanson's asking if you're saying that Justin doesn't do anything.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You just catch him.
But you're not saying that.
No, of course.
No. I'm not saying
I'm actually not saying that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm really not saying
what interception just falls to?
They kind of just all he just kind of like corrals him a little bit. You
remember that diving one against the
they just
Lions?
Come like
remember the game winner against the Dolphins where he like undercut the receiver and it just fell to him?
Sure, you could just pull these out, but I'm saying like last year,
you could just use your facts and just find them. Remember that one against Washington where he intercepted it in the end zone by undercutting the receiver?
They just came to him. The one against Jacksonville was diving in the end zone.
The one against Amari Cooper?
That was nice. Yeah, he just jumped up and caught it.
What are you talking about?
Let's move on. Let's talk about the edge rusher position. Eric, we got to change topics here. We'll move on to edge rusher, okay?
You can think of like one where it was like that.
A lot of them are like that. He's just in the right place. He's in the right place, which takes a lot of talent. And he can jump very high.
Yeah.
And that's how he makes his interceptions.
Okay, edge rusher.
Right place and high jumping.
High jumping, right place. Perfect.
Okay, edge rushers here. Simon Fletcher.
Yeah.
Lot of sacks. A lot. Elvis Dumerville. Von Miller. And then you kind of get into some like weirdness where you're like, is this guy a rusher? What do you want to call him? Had a lot of sacks, but like, what do we say? Let's say Tom Jackson. I mean, he was a linebacker, but he had a lot of sacks.
He was an outside linebacker.
Yeah. He had a lot of sacks. I view him like playing he's out in the field a lot more than the other guys we just mentioned there.
He's like a Baron Browning.
Back. Yeah, like he kind of.
Is that what you're saying?
Like I view him like he like kind of, you know how like sometimes like Vaughn used to like drop back and he'd be out like in coverage.
I do remember that.
Tom Jackson, I felt like did a lot of.
He did those easy intercept. He like just the ball came right to him.
No. That's Justin Simmons, not Tom Jackson.
No, Vaughn did that.
The easy ones?
Yeah, it just came right to him against Brady in the AFC Championship.
That was a diving interception. That was not an easy one.
Some additional names.
Oh, Swanson coming in with some additional names, please. Thank
Carl
you.
Mecklenburg. He's
a
multi-position, so I'm not sure where he falls under.
Yeah, exactly. Similar type of.
He's third in career sacks for the Broncos.
Carl Mecklenburg, of course, a 17th round, 20.
Yeah,
20th
like
round,
14th, I think.
14th. I thought 11th, maybe
12th.
When you just name all the numbers, you got a really good chance.
But I still didn't get it. Yeah.
Barney Chavis.
He
is fourth. Rulon Jones.
I thought you said Tom Jackson was fourth.
He's a little bit lower down. Sorry.
Convenient for you.
Yeah.
Fact checking the fact checker.
Fact check on the fact check.
That was before we started rolling. You were like, yeah, we got to bring up Tom Jackson.
He's in the top
fourth.
10.
What? Okay. Well, when you play a really long time.
That's true.
Okay.
Those are just the three.
Barney Chavis, yeah.
You could put
Trevor Price?
Lyle Alzado in there.
Lyle
I think he's
Alzado?
more of like a three technique defense.
Like a Draymond Jones.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Trevor Price is in there too.
Yeah, I would say Trevor Price.
I mean, obviously, from a pure talent and production standpoint, Vaughn wins. Right?
Vaughn's got to be the guy.
It's not a real debate there, I don't think. But if you're talking about value,
ooh,
I mean, Vaughn obviously was a second overall pick. Simon Fletcher was a second round pick.
Yep.
Elvis Dumerville, third round, right?
Yes,
I believe so. Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're talking about guys there that were really good football players that
fourth round. Sorry.
Oh,
fourth round.
Fourth round.
Oh,
fourth round. Really good football players that you were able to find them a little bit later on. So I think I always like when a guy
who overperforms.
Yeah. You don't expect that much from them, and they end up doing a lot.
That's true. For a long time, Simon Fletcher led the organization in sacks.
That's true.
We were there when Vaughn.
2018.
Yeah. Right. He sacked Baker.
Final play of the third quarter.
Yeah. That was a Saturday night game, I believe.
Sure.
I believe. Maybe.
I got no clue.
Hey, there you go. Those are the kind of facts I break. But yeah.
Or are they serving in the press box for dinner?
Hot cocoa.
Nice.
Wow, feels right. Saturday.
See?
Feels right. Hot cocoa.
Rare. So I would say at that position, the Broncos have drafted their best players. DeMarcus Ware, obviously, free agent signing. That's all that really comes to the top of the mind. Top of the mind. Nice. There you go.
Yeah, I agree with you. They've, I mean, when you hit on guys like Fletcher and Vaughn, you don't need to.
You don't have to
add.
Yeah, and it's a valuable position too. You know, I mean, that's a spot you got to hit on. So, could be an area the Broncos look at this year.
In this year's draft?
Yeah.
Let's don't.
We don't talk about that.
No.
We don't talk about that. Well, so that's our look at some of the top picks. Let us know what you think. Comment.
Yeah.
Let us know if we screwed something up there.
Any other picks you just want to
just throw out, like just some of the better
like TD at running back?
Yeah, they found some really good value. Like obviously Shannon Sharp and Terrell Davis. Those are like
But those are the best guys and their late round picks.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the best running backs.
Wide receiver?
Yeah, hard to. I mean, Rod was undrafted.
Yep.
Brandon Marshall they drafted. Demaryius Thomas they drafted.
It's probably DT, right? In terms of career yardage.
That they drafted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
I think DT is an easy. Who would you say for left guard?
Ooh. Well, Gary Zimmerman was traded. Or was he free? He was a free agent.
He's a tackle.
Oh, guard. Sorry. Yeah, left guard. Orlando Franklin played left guard for a little, right? Or was he just a right guard?
We won't make you do the offensive line. That seems mean.
It
would be really hard.
Bad podcasting
to come up with some guys.
I think DT, TD, Shannon.
Yeah, just some of the better draft picks in the team's history. Yeah, those are
impressive stuff.
Yeah, they've hit. I mean, when you have success, you hit on draft picks.
You trade for quarterbacks.
And then you trade for quarterbacks. The Broncos way.
The Bronco way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully it leads to another Lambeau.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, well, let us know if we forgot some guys, if you disagree, if you think that Swanson has made some errors.
He has.
Of course.
But I corrected them.
How, Eric, would somebody weigh in like that? If they wanted to.
Let's loop back, kind of like a full circle situation.
Nice,
you can leave a voicemail at 707-NEUTRAL, an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com, tweet at us directly on twitter.com, at Aric DiLalla with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH. Non-traditional spellings. Or Phil, you go right to the YouTube page, you leave a comment. We'll read it here next week.
Yes, we will. And I've got a few ready. No, I'm just kidding. We already did that.
We did that.
Yeah, we already did that part. Eric, time for shout-outs.
Oh.
Yeah. It's time for shout-outs. Of course, Nikola Jokic.
Yep, there you go.
The playoffs begin for your Denver Nuggets Sunday night. TBD, at the time of this recording, we don't know. It could be the Thunder or the T-Wolves. T-Wolves could be interesting, just with the Tim Connolly connection there.
Oh.
Both division rivals. So the Nuggets are very familiar with them.
Yeah. When I think about good NBA rivals, I think of the Nuggets versus the Thunder.
Yeah. Well, they are division rivals.
That's what I think of.
Curious.
I think like Broncos, Chiefs, Nuggets, Thunder.
I'm curious, what basketball division rivals do you feel like are the top?
Oh, which ones do I think are really?
Listen.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like Nuggets, Trailblazers, are they in the same one?
They are.
Yeah. I think of that as a better rivalry. Don't freaking come at me like that.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Any shout outs for you? I mean, I'm really geeked up for the playoffs starting.
Yeah, I can tell.
Really pumped up.
Yeah, you got your chest painted.
It. This is the best. It's the best
time of the year.
It is.
Except for the other times.
Other times. This is the best non-football time of the year. You ask me.
Yeah. The first round of the NBA playoffs. Oh, nothing gets me going.
Dude, the NBA playoffs are amazing.
And they'll be going on for the next 6 months. So if you miss out on the first round,
I'm with Phil.
The finals are in June.
Yeah. It's a long time.
That's what makes it nice.
Like, let's play a game.
Settle in.
5 days later, we'll play another game.
Every other day. They typically play every other day. That's how, like, someone like
sometimes they don't.
You're LeBron James. That's how he that's how he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go get number 5, so that'll be exciting.
Goes into the hyperbaric, recharge, plug in.
Yep.
Come back out. You're ready to go.
Should probably shout out Liz Gerald's.
Most definitely. I mean, the community
team
doing a lot of good work.
Some futures football going on this weekend.
Ooh. Will we have photographs from that or no?
Yeah.
I think so.
A painting or no?
I heard it's kind of a new thing. Photographs and some digital assets.
Really?
Yeah, both.
How do you ensure that the quality is really good on those?
Swanson?
You do some audits.
Ooh, audits.
Do some quality control.
Quality control.
QC.
Clearly someone needs to be doing that for the podcast.
True.
Who would do that? Maybe the supervisor would probably do that.
Not someone who's trying out, though.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
How could you let that happen?
Any other shout outs
I don't think
that
so.
we need to get to? I can't think of anything else. Just the two staples of our show.
That's it.
Gerald's and Nikola Jokic. Those are the two. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back next week. Maybe we'll actually talk about this draft.
Maybe.
It's just hard. The third round.
It's difficult.
It's hard. It's a little bit difficult. Really, really hard. All right. That's going to do it for us. For Ben Swanson and Aric DiLalla, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.